Hello, this is Jessica from Stamp Punch Lab, and today we are going to be making this Matchbox style box for 4 Hershey's Nuggets. We're using the Winter Wonderland Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up, the thick Baker's Twine and Cherry Cobbler, as well as the Cherry Cobbler ink, and the stamp set is Lots of Joy. And we used the basic black for the wrap and the prototype. Today we are using the same Designer Series paper pack. We're using a 5 1/4 piece and our envelope punch board to start with. We're using the pine cones this time, and we're going to start by punching and scoring at the 1 7/8 inch mark. That's the mark right before the 2, of course, and then we're going to mark at the 2 7/8 inch mark, so the mark right before 3. Here we're going to punch and score, and then we're going to line up our score lines with the score guide. So that little kick out there, we're going to line up our score lines that we just made. Punch and score, we're going to do that on all 4 sides. Now we have this little shape. As you can see, it's kind of this mountain and valley shape. That's what gives us a box instead of an envelope. Here, these little pieces, a lot of people toss those. I keep them. I will show you what I do with them another day. So now we are going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. So just fold our little tabs over and use our wonderful bold folder, another thing I can't live without, and put all of those down. Now that we have all of those, we're going to create another fold line. So that's going to be the side of our box, and now what we're going to do is we're going to fold at that first score line, put our nails at the base, so at that second score line. I'm going to zoom in really quickly, say hello to my cat, Ducky. Go ahead and just pop that in there and fold it over. That's going to reinforce our sides. So I'm going to use my bone fold to do that, and I'm going to do that on all of our tabs. Okay, so now for some cutting. What we're going to do is we're going to cut up the score line, and then I like to notch in a little bit just so I know that everything comes together really cleanly. And the envelope punch board basically already notched for us on the other side, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to cut all of our tabs. And now we are going to go ahead and put some adhesive on. I don't have fast fuse yet. I'm still using my sticky strip, but I do recommend you use a hardcore adhesive just because it's a 3D project and it's going to be handled quite a bit, hopefully. So place your adhesive as close to that score line as possible on all 4 of your tabs. Okay, and now we're going to place it on the middle, which will end up being like the inside part of the side of our box, and then we're also going to place it on the pointy part. So the first 2 spaces on each of the tabs. Alright, so remove your adhesive from the tabs, and we're going to go ahead and build up our drawer, which is basically a box without a lid. And so we're going to take our free edge and bring it to our scored edge and stick those together. By doing that, we know we get a nice square corner by lining up the free edge with the scored edge. So we're going to do that all around until we're all built up, and then we're going to pull the adhesive off on our tabs. And so what we're going to do after we pull that adhesive off is we're basically going to put those together, and then put it together, fold it to the side, and fold flat. So now you just push that down, and you have your first side of your box. So now we're just going to do that all the way around. So now we have our drawer all set up. Here you can put like a little thumb hole if you think about it before you stick everything together. Just stick it in an envelope punch board and make a groove. Yeah, I forgot. So our liner is 2 by 13/16 by 2 and 1/16. I don't like much of a border. Like, I want it to be really snug. So that's what I did here. Was I made it really snug, and so now I'm just going to take basically what would be Stampin' Up! Snail. I don't have that yet either, and pop that in the bottom, and now our drawer is completely done. And it's nice and polished and looks very finished and very professional. So now we're going to grab our scoreboard and our piece of basic black cardstock by Stampin' Up! And we're going to make 4 score lines, and we're looking at 6 1/4 by 2 7/8. Sorry, I forgot to say that. All the measurements are going to be in the down bar and on my blog. So first score line is 1 1/2, second is 2 1/4, third is 4 3/8, and then last but not least, after I reinforce these, is going to be 5 1/16. So what we're going to do is you're going to move your paper halfway in between your the edge of your scoreboard and your first tick mark, and then do it at 5 1/8. You could also do this on your trimmer. I just don't like the score line that my trimmer makes, so I like to use my scoreboard. But it's a whole lot easier to measure 16ths on there. So now we're just going to fold and burnish everything. And now we are going to go ahead and decorate our little wrap, because I find it easier to do before we build. So my Bermuda Bay is what I decided for my accent color, and it is 2 5/8 by 1 7/8. And so that will go to the black, and then our piece of DSP that matches the drawer is 2 3/8 by 1 5/8, and that will go on top there. And I've made it to where they all nest nicely, and you have like an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So we're going to stick with the pine cones, and the cat's going to throw the paper with his tail. So grab our adhesive, pop a little bit of that on, and line it up and get it centered. Get a little cat hair in our glue, and then a little more adhesive to put it onto our wrap. So we're going to put it on the middle section in between the 2 side sections. It's the only like full size panel. Center that up, stick it down. Obviously that is not centered, so we are going to re-center and stick. And get some more cat hair in there. Alright, so that's great. Now we are going to set that aside and do our stamping. So I have a piece here, a white cardstock with my Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. Ooh, bad zoom job there. So we're going to use the Merry Christmas out of the Teeny Tiny Wishes. This is a really good bargain if you're just starting out as a stamper, because there's like 24 sentiments in here, and you can use it on all sorts of things. So what I have here is a scrap of white cardstock, and how tall it is doesn't really matter. It fit my sentiment, but it is 1 5/8 inch wide or long. So now I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay ink pad and my Merry Christmas that I have prepped up on a block, and we're going to ink it up and stamp it on. So we can get that out of the way so I don't put my arm in it or hand in it like I usually do. And now we're going to grab our dimensionals, we're going to grab our adhesive, our wrap, our drawer, the whole 9 yards. So what we're going to do is we're going to decide which flap is going to be like our outside flap, and then run adhesive down the inside of that. Once we do that, going to give it a good press and grab our drawer, stick it in the center, stick it in there. I like to put it in there just so I know that it's not going to be too tight, kind of make it judge, make sure I didn't get my score lines wrong, and then I pull off the backing and very slowly and carefully line everything up and pop it down. And so it's a little stuck right now, but we are going to go boop, and there it goes. So now it moves freely. We can put our candies in, no problem. So next we're going to grab our sentiment and a couple of dimensionals by Stampin' Up. I love these things. I used to use other products, and now I use exclusively Stampin' Up dimensionals. I just ordered like 4 more packs of them. I can't live without these guys. I am slowly working towards being Stampin' Up exclusive in all my products probably, but I'm definitely addicted to the dimensionals. Next we're going to grab our Bermuda Bay Thick Baker's Twine. Again, something I love is the Thick Baker's Twine because it can go for guys and for gals. So this is obviously a little Christmas thing. It can be a stocking stuffer or maybe an office gift, and it's black and white, which is really neutral, and the Bermuda Bay, you know, is a nice bright color. And because we're not using a ribbon, but we're using the Thick Baker's Twine, it could definitely still be a guy gift. I know most guys, you know, don't really want a bow, but if there's candy involved, they're pretty much going to forgive you for a bow. And we're just going to fluff around that bow until we like it. Obviously, my bow tying skills are not on point today, guys. I'm so sorry. Gonna have to forgive me. It's my first tutorial. I have a lot to learn. And part of that is staying in frame. So there you go. There is our finished project. I will have better pictures on my blog. And at the end, thank you so much.